I think so.
Yep.
All right.
My hair's
Should be
okay.
good.
Is your hair okay?
Looks perfect. Good job.
All right, so welcome to Stemless Facebook podcast. We're here with Rocco and Nicole. Rocco is the owner and founder of Rocco's Tacos, successfully for 16 years now.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna let you tell us a little bit. How did you get started? And for those who don't know you, and how are you? Where are you at today?
So I'm originally from New York, and in 1997, I was either going to jail or I was going to move to Florida. I worked at a place called Stratton Oakmont, which is a movie, The Wolf of Wall Street, and I was doing things that you probably shouldn't have done. And my cousins dropped me off on the New Jersey Turnpike. So I had $200 and a car, and I went to West Palm Beach, and where Rocco's and Clematis is. I fell asleep, and it wasn't Starbucks at the time. It was like a Banana Republic. And the next day I got up, slept in my car. I needed $20 to get a hotel, and went into the restaurant called Big City Tavern. And I asked for a job, and they said no. They said, fill this out. And what's the grape varietal of Pinot Grigio? I said, look, I just need $20, from New York or whatever. And they didn't like my accent. They didn't like the way I looked or whatever it was. As luck would have it, I asked the guy to wash his car. I said, just let me wash your car. I need $20. I just need to get some sleep. I've been on the road for 4 days. So I washed the guy's car. He gave me a job as a busboy. So in September 1st, 1997, I started bussing tables there. I worked at the Monkey Club at the time. It was a nightclub across the street. And I was an exit guy. And then I kind of like worked my way around sort of the hospitality industry. Moved down to Boca, worked in Meisner Park, and worked at a bunch of different restaurants. Switched from restaurants in 04, 05 to nightclubs, which was like, Liquid and Cream and Hotel Biba and all these places that you have to be old to remember. Then I worked at Flow, and it turns out my buddy opened a Mexican restaurant down in Boca called Moquila. We got drunk one night, and we couldn't say we wanted more tequila. We just said Moquila. And opened a Mexican restaurant, and there was a bunch of tequila. And it was really interesting because it was 05, and he owned the restaurant, and tequila was like just becoming popular. That's almost 19 years ago, and it's crazy how this white spirit that everybody used to think, oh my God, I drank tequila last night, I got sick, I blacked out. I'm sure they still do. I was like, we have something here. Ownership started to switch there, and I said, I'm going to go around the country and look at Mexican restaurants. So I did. I went to 64 Mexican restaurants, and I researched and copied, right? I took a little bit from here, a little bit from there, a little bit from here, and I came back. And as luck would have it, I was in City Cellar, and the guys that hired me as a busboy, they still had the lease on the place that I worked on Clematis. And they said, what are you doing, Rocco? And I said, I want to open a Mexican restaurant. And they said, we do too. And 2 weeks later, July of 2007, next thing I know, I'm in Mexico. And I bought the restaurant I was a busboy in with the guys that fired me, because I ended up getting fired from that job. And I came full circle. So I bought the restaurant and I was a busboy in. And then I opened the first Rocco's in December 15th of 2007. That's pretty cool.
That is.
That's
amazing.
Heavy duty story, Came from nothing, humble beginnings, and now we have 10 stores, and it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
So what would you tell your younger self, if anything?
What would I tell my younger self? It's hard because I didn't go to college. My father owned restaurants. My grandfather was involved in the restaurant business, and I kind of always went back to the restaurant. I think I would have paid more attention to the restaurant business and learned more by keeping myself quiet. And, it was a skill that I learned. I didn't go to college, but I wish I worked closer with my father or my grandfather and my younger years, and knowing that I wasn't going to go to college because I did horrible in school. I would also told my younger self to go to school, because having an education and learning some of the things that I'm better, I notice people that have gone to school are more, well spoken, certain things that I could probably do on my own if I learned more. I only graduated high school, which a lot of people do, and that's, success comes in many different ways, but it's not always measured by money. That's what I would, if you're going to learn a skill and that's what you're going to do, I would just hone in on that skill. And, I'm always learning. So now my motto is, when you come and apply for a job and you sit with me, if you're not better at me doing what I'm going to do, then I don't need you. And that's what I tell a lot of people when I say, why do you want to work at Rocco's? Well, because it's a great place. But what are you going to give to Rocco's? What do you know about the restaurant business? And when people say, well, whatever you tell me, no, it's not. I want you to learn from me, but I want to learn from you. And that's what I do.
It's a great perspective.
Yeah. And nobody works for me. Everybody works with me, right? That's
Right,
how you have to work with each other
Teamwork.
to achieve the goal. So it's pretty cool.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And now you have 2 little girls.
So I fast forward the story. I did have some trials and tribulations in the restaurant business. I did drugs, and I was definitely drank myself to some places that I never want to be again. And I was married, divorced. I met a woman. I have a daughter. Her name is Charlie, and me and the woman separated, never married. And then I ended up going to a number of rehabs. So I went to 3 different rehabs during my journey, right, in my time. And in my 3rd rehab, I decided, I had a cardiac event, and I decided that I'm never going to drink again. And I came out, and I met this woman, and I met her at Lenora's, which is my friend's place. And lo and behold, I met her in a bar. I wasn't supposed to be drinking, and she's my wife. I met this wonderful woman. I never drank again, so I've been sober for 8 years. And
Congratulations.
in the time that I met this woman, I also got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. So, my resume wasn't really good to begin with. And then I met this woman, and, I'm a spiritual guy, and I believe there's a place and a time for everything. I was in the right place at the right time. I met the right person. And on August 15th of 2015, I got paralyzed on the whole left-hand side of my body. And I have relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis. So here I am, I trying to stay sober, which I did. And then I just get diagnosed with MS, and my whole family comes down, and they're like, are you going to drink? You have an incurable disease. I'm like, oh my God, this is what my life looks like. At the time I had a 2-year-old daughter, and this woman stayed with me, and she became my inspiration. And then, as luck would have it, we stayed together ever since. And I met her on July 24th, and she stayed with me through this whole journey. And then as I went to doctors and all of the other things, they told me I wasn't an alcoholic. They said, you were drinking because of inflammation of the brain.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I drank, but I would drink in the morning to feel better. And it was very strange. And I said, you know what, I just think I'm not going to drink ever again. And I haven't, and 2016 in January, I decided to come out of the liquor cabinet, right? They call it, come out of the closet, the liquor cabinet or whatever. So I said, I'm going to let everybody know that I'm in the liquor business, and I'm going to let everybody know that I stopped drinking. And I really got actively involved in recovery. And then I told the world that I had multiple sclerosis, and I let people know that, and I started a foundation and a fund. And, fast forward, 8 years later, I'm here, and I ended up marrying that woman. And we have a little girl who's 2 years old, so I have two little beautiful girls.
Aww.
So I have a 2-year-old and a 10-year-old. And, my motto is you have to give to get. So when you guys asked me to be on the show, it's my honor to be here, right? So it's and maybe somebody will get something out of it, which we hope. And that's it.
Share the story, motivate people.
Yeah, maybe. You know, I'm
Don't
a
give
survivor and don't give up. Yeah.
Don't give up.
there's-
Keep pushing. Keep
yeah,
pushing.
keep pushing. You know, and if you
It'll
say you're
come.
going to do something, do it. You know, and if you're not, then don't say you're going to do it. Right.
Right.
And you might fail a couple times. I mean, I definitely.
We all fail and fall and get up
Yep.
and
It's
Yeah.
part of the process,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Unless
Yeah.
you
definitely.
keep moving. You just
Yes.
gotta keep moving. You just gotta
Yep.
keep going with the vision and the passion, right?
Yeah.
And everything just kind of just fall into place eventually.
Yep.
Eventually.
Absolutely.
So.
So tell us about your foundation.
So there's a website called Join Team Rocco, and Join Team Rocco is connected to causes that make a difference. So anything that's a legitimate 501c3. So it started with multiple sclerosis, and I said, let's raise money for MS, and to this day, I think we've raised a little north of $1.2 million. When I say we,
Wow.
most of the people that donate are $1 or $2, $3. There's not really any big corporate sponsors for MS. It doesn't affect people like cancer. However, I'll also do, the juvenile diabetes, autism, anything that really makes sense that's going to make a difference in the world. We will tie the link to the foundation called Join Team Rocco. Join Team Rocco is not a 501c3, but we link it to other 501c3s so we don't have to deal with any of the paperwork or any of the accounting.
So you're like a hub.
So I'm the guy that says, right now we're doing something for the Police Benevolent Association for cancer, and I'm the guy. So I'm the hub, and you go to Rocco's on May 20th with the PBA. There's a gentleman that is involved with the PBA. His wife passed away from cancer, and they want to give back to the community. So you go to Rocco on May 20th. Rocco's in Palm Beach Gardens, and 20% of the proceeds go to this cancer foundation.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And you've been doing that ever since
long
I've
time.
known you.
Yeah,
Ever since you
long time.
opened your business,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
always given
Give it
back to the
back.
community.
Always.
And everybody always loved you for that.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, I mean, and as long as you don't take advantage. We don't do GoFundMes unless they're 501c3, and we just want to make sure that we're staying in line with people that are honest and truthful with themselves.
100%. And mostly local charities, or you guys work with?
No. So we did, and so now what's interesting, I don't drink, and with the tequila brands that I've partnered myself with, Guy Fieri and Sammy Hagar have Santo. We did a fundraiser for the Police Benevolent Association. We raised $50,000,
Wow.
which was great. All of us, together, and we gave back to the community, first responders and stuff. With Eva Longoria, we use her tequila, and at the top of her tequila, there's a leather strap that goes around the tequila bottle, and every one you buy, that goes for women of domestic violence in Mexico.
Wow.
And then with Aaron, Paul, and Brian Cranston with Dos Hombres, they also donate to local communities in Mexico. And then Mark Wahlberg, when the fires happened in Hawaii, we did Flecha Azul, which is his tequila for the fires, and we donated to World Central Kitchen to feed people. So
That's so cool.
I won't partner with tequila, like a celebrity-driven tequila. I feel like I know what the end goal is. You want to sell the tequila, make a lot of money. And a lot of these celebrities, I just say, it's not about the money. It's about what can we do for the communities, and what can we do to pay it forward. So that's what we're doing on a different level with the restaurants.
That's pretty cool.
It's really cool.
I love it.
That's
Yeah, I've
great.
been watching those. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I took a break off social media for a month.
I saw that.
Yeah, from right after the fundraiser till April 1st, I'll go back on.
What
Social
drive you to get just a mental, spiritual what break? Just like, okay, I need
You
a
kind
break.
of get like, it was, this is the first place that I'm going to announce. So Rocco's in West Palm Beach, and the team that was in West Palm for Walk MS, it was the world record for, since they started the walk. It's the most money they ever raised. It's little over $250,000.
Wow.
So Rocco's raised like 150,000.
Wow.
It's pretty cool, and because of the donations that I received, I'm #1 in the nation. which is really cool. So it's a really great thing to say that this guy has MS. You see what I do. It's Facebook, it's Instagram, but it consumes so much of your time. You know, and people need receipts and they want to make sure that they're notarized and that everything is. So I needed a break. I needed to spend time with my wife and my kids.
Aww.
So I
Good
just said,
for
you know what?
for realizing that.
It's just shut down.
Balance.
Yep.
Balance.
And so I'm
Absolutely.
temporarily closed for spiritual maintenance. You know, just.
Nice job.
I love it. So it's great that you have that home business
Yeah.
balance. How long did it take you to figure that out in your years of it?
Well, you know, so I have Charlie, my oldest daughter, and I have her 50% of the time. So as much as I'd love to have her 100% of the time, and I do get along with her family really well, her mother is getting married to a wonderful man, and I'm so lucky that they have, you know, she's got this great family, and then she comes to ours. Then my wife, you know, got pregnant, and we have this beautiful little girl. So if the closer you get to death, right? So I'm 50 years old, the more that you appreciate life. And that's what I feel with people. I have everything I need. I really do. Not monetarily, but I've got my health, and, you know, I've got friends, and I've got great family, and that's really, and everything else is just monetary, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think this world is full of people that buy things that they don't have money for to impress people they don't like, especially where we live, right?
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Oh
That
my
is so
goodness.
accurate.
So guys
Yes.
like, you know, and I just believe that I want to be the guy that my daughters want to marry, open the door, close the door, say hello, and, you know, make sure I treat my wife in a certain way. And, you know, and sometimes you have, you know, I'm not the perfect man, but I try my hardest to be that guy. So when it's family, it's family. And when it's work, it's work. Now I'm really blessed. Rocco's runs itself. You know, and the people that I have running the company are just tremendous. From the dishwashers, because those are the most important people, because if the dishes aren't clean, you can't get served, all the way up to the director. And what I've done is set myself up in a very comfortable way to be able to do this.
That's awesome.
And not have to worry about that. And then I know I'm going to go home tonight and eat dinner with my family. And, you know, that's when the phone goes down and we make sure we eat together and we sit together.
Good for you.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Very important, right? Sitting down
So
at
different
dinner,
from when you used to see me running
Right.
around, right?
jumping in the bar. Well, at least from when you used to see me.
Oh, how times have
Oh,
changed.
time to grew up, you know.
Yeah, a little bit.
Part of it.
Yeah.
A little child is still in there somewhere.
I still get on the bar. I still pour tequila. I love watching people have a good time. So that's all.
It's like almost like a. How can you not help like if you're at the bar and not jump on the bar?
Yeah, I mean,
Like, you're there.
people love seeing and saying hello and watching you clean a table and knowing that you're not better than anybody else, and, you know, like getting right in there. And, you know, anybody can tell somebody what to do, but it's if you actually do it with them, they respect you a lot more.
100%.
Yeah.
So how many employees you have?
Right now we have just a little over 1,000 employees.
My goodness.
Yeah, a little over 1,000 employees, and then there's a big office on Clematis above CVS that has about 40 corporate employees, and then there's like another, you know, 5 or 6 people, and then vendors, right? So
Mhm.
if you like spread out and to see all the people that feed their families and are able to do things, from the truck drivers to the vendors to the bread guys, I mean, it's infectious, right? So I think that, you know, we have like our own little, it's like our own little economic system, you know, that works out pretty well. You know,
That's
it's good,
awesome.
you know. Yeah, we like our vendors, and we work well with a lot of local companies, and, you know, everybody seems to enjoy where they work. It's tough. You know, I'm 50 years old. When I was 25, there wasn't a lot of the technologies that we have today. So,
Right, yeah.
so a lot of people work differently
Yes.
than they work when we were, or when I was, you know, I remember when a phone came out. I was like, I went from a beeper to a phone. I was like,
From number codes to
Yeah,
not
like,
down.
wait a second,
What
like
do
a
we
Sky
do with
pager.
this? With The big old phones hanging on the waist.
Yeah, so that when you said phone like this, it was more like
It's like the brick, right?
exactly.
Do you have any plans that are coming to Martin County or St. Lucie County?
So I am. So I also. So I do consult. So my company is called Got Rocco. Outside of Rocco's Tacos, everybody has their own thing. So I'm not really a direct employee of Rocco's, which is interesting, right? There's management company in there called the Big Time Restaurant Group that manages all of the organization. Really happy to announce I did call the guys that I'm working with and consulting for that I am opening in Hutchinson Island.
Ooh, right
this is-
here.
Yeah,
here.
that's great.
So there's a Marriott in Hutchinson Island.
Yes.
And the Marriott in Hutchinson Island is getting a big makeover. And the front is a Wells Fargo, and there was like a real estate office. So that real estate office will be like a general store, bagel stop, coffee stop, but like local. It's going to be called the Hutch. And this is the first time that you've heard me say it and announce it. And then there's going to be a place called Locals Lanes, which is going to be a duck pin bowling alley. It used to be the bank, Wells Fargo, and we're going to make it into a bowling alley arcade, place that you could play pool, and it'll have like burgers and fries and really good food. So yeah, those are my other. So not Rocco's, but I'm trying something new, and this is the first thing that I'm stepping outside. The Marriott owns the property, and I'm gonna be part of running the operation there. So. As far as Rocco's goes, we're always looking at the right opportunity. Stewart now is becoming. Oh my God, we got a Brightline station, so people.
Oh, that's right,
Yeah.
downtown Stewart.
Either love it or hate it. And this small little town of Stewart, everybody's like, "Oh my God, Brightline's coming."
Yeah.
And it's going to an area where you have to pass these like a little roundabout. It's called Confusion Corner.
Okay.
Already, it's confusing as it is.
Yeah.
With this little, it's like it's so weird. It's like a roundabout. It's like an exit this way, an exit this way, but you can still go in circles. It's super small because you ever been to downtown Stewart?
Once or twice, yeah.
It's little. It's
Yeah.
literally two roads,
Yeah.
two strips.
It's cute though. It's quaint, right?
Oh yeah,
super cute.
absolutely.
You have a
Very
theater
nice.
there, a lot of boutiques.
Yeah.
Very quaint,
That's great.
right?
Yep,
There's a lot of
absolutely.
events there too.
Cool. All right.
That's great. So what do you have next on the books
So next on the books for Rocco's.
for you personally?
For me personally, not much, medically, with my MS, I have to keep myself in check. So this week I had a bunch of MRIs, and my MS is progressing, right? So relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis does not cure. So I do have some difficulty, even though I look and feel, and people see me like, oh my God, you look great. The public perception is very interesting. People have to see somebody basically disabled to feel for them.
Right.
So next week I go to New York. My doctor's in New York, and I really just trying to manage my lifestyle right now, my health. I just bought myself a cold plunge, which I think is the most amazing thing in the world.
Absolutely.
And there's no way that anybody's ever going to tell you that they like doing it. Have you ever done it?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. So I bought this cold plunge that it's like euphoric. You get in and you hate it. It's like brutal. And then you get out. For the next 2 hours, your whole body just feels. So I'm trying new things and I'm doing new things.
Are you seeing some benefits from it, do you
I do.
think?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's called
good.
Renew Therapy. And interestingly enough, my friend, some of these celebrity guys, they have this tank. And I know there's Plunge and some other ones. And Renew was very kind to me. They know that I have a disability, and I bought it. And it's in my backyard. I put it at 50 degrees. And, I go like 2-3 minutes. And I have a problem with my left foot. And I've had a bunch of surgeries. I had a rotator cuff surgery, and I feel better from it. I don't know if it's mental, like you're just like, well, wait a second, but I do think that there's some benefit for it.
Yeah.
Heat is the number one offender for MS. So it's like kryptonite. Go figure, I live in Florida. And I try to stay out of the sun as much as I can. But it's great. You go in this thing, and you do it at night or do it in the morning. And I got my wife doing it. You know,
Nice.
yeah, it's pretty cool. My daughter wants to do it. I'm like, what? No. Wait a second. It's a little cold.
You're a kid. You're
like,
doing great.
You guys do it? You have it here?
We've done cryotherapy. The cold, when you
Yeah.
get into the chamber, but not the cold plunge. The cold plunge is different.
Yeah, it's
because
hardcore.
it penetrates the water, but it's great for inflammation and
Yeah.
for everything. Just
So
mental
many
health, just the
benefits.
mental
Yeah,
health
yeah, yeah.
itself. Because your organ releases
The brown
all these
fat,
nutrients.
yeah,
Wow.
around your organs, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So
Incredible.
yeah, and I'm traveling, and skiing and doing things that, I'm an old dad, so everybody's like, oh, you're not that old, you're not that old. I'm like, but I'm 50. I have a 2-year-old, so the key is to try to do as much. Like yesterday, I took the afternoon off and I just went to the park.
Mhm.
And it's so great that my job allows me to, my daughter's, my wife's Cuban, so my daughter's bilingual, and it's awesome because she's teaching me and my older daughter Spanish, and we go to the parque and she plays and she does all this cool stuff. And yeah, it's great.
That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And so life is good, and I leave the past is the past, and that's it. And I'm in recovery, which is another great thing, that I get to work with people that are sick and suffering, and I get to work with people that aren't. So I learn, and I go to AA meetings. I'm in the program, and I get to experience some of that. I sit on the advisory board for CARP, which is Comprehensive Addiction Recovery Program, and it takes 10 men and 10 women free of charge, nonprofit, through a 90-day program. Puts your food, board, and everything. It's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable program.
That's really
And all you have to
cool.
do is apply. And I sit on the advisory board for CARP, which is down in West Palm Beach near the Triangle Club. And work with whatever, like you said, homeless, dogs. It's like a full-time job. But if you have the ability to give, then I think that it's great. And because I'm in the liquor business, I think a lot of people that are in the hospitality business struggle.
Yes.
So I think they look at me like, there's no way. And knowing my past, there's no way he hasn't drank in that long. It's like, yeah, just never picked up again.
But you can tell, on the glowing of the
Mhm.
skin and the face and the eyes when someone doesn't drink and someone who actually drinks, they're look dull and kind of
The smokes and drinks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
Absolutely.
huge change. So you work out?
So I do. I don't work out like you, and probably not like you. I mean, I did, and I have spasticity in my hands, and I have involuntary muscle movement. So the best way for me to describe it, or to the people that are on the podcast, is if you got a cramp in your foot, and how painful it is.
Mm-hmm.
So that happens to my whole body.
Mm-hmm.
And it's excruciating, where I can't move my hands, or I can't move, and it's because of MS, and it hurts. And the bigger I got, or the more muscular that I got, the worse that I felt. So what I
More
did
muscle mass,
is
yeah.
I have a workout regimen that is, thank God for the Apple Watch. It's the greatest thing in the world. It reminds you to do everything you don't want to do. Right? So I don't have it on right now, but and then it's got all these great little features. So Strong is the app that I use, and then when you go in the cold plunge, it tells you the temperature, and then there's all of these great things that it does. But it reminds you to go to the gym. So you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Get up, just get up. Got to get up, get up. And in my house, I don't do. It's not that I don't do well with others. Gym is like my zen. So in my garage, I have a universal workout system, and I have a Stairmaster, but a commercial Stairmaster. And so I'll do 150 to 200 flights of stairs a day.
Wow.
Yeah, in the morning. And then, I do a lot of reps of lightweight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not,
You're just maintaining.
I'm just maintaining.
Just
And,
training.
Yeah,
Just to
I'm
live longer
the
and
same
healthy.
waist size that I was when I was 18. So I went
Wow.
from
Amazing.
I went from like 200 pounds
That is
to down to 183, and you know, I feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And then doing the cold plunge. And you know, there's days that I don't want to work out that I do, and I feel better. And Stairmaster is the most natural form of movement of walking.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm afraid, you know, you're always afraid with MS that you don't know when you're not going to be able to. So I think that because I'm walking upstairs, right, you're putting pressure down. That's what I do. And then I row. I row for about 20 minutes, and that's my routine. So there's like 50 minutes of cardio, and then I'll go into I'll do, you know, back and buys, and I'll do my little workout, and that's it.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good workout.
Yeah.
Like
No,
just
but I'm
20
saying,
minutes.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
done with this.
But I
love
don't
it,
do
though.
I don't do anything so ski, real easy, no snowboarding, nothing that I'm going to get hurt. My motorcycle days are over. So like my risk taking is much different.
You're
I
that
drive in
now.
the slow lane. I'm not in a rush to go anywhere. You know, it's just like that's.
It's funny how as we get older, right? Like everybody's, why are you rushing?
Yeah.
Just relax.
And now everybody from New York moved here, so you're like, where you going?
Right.
You know, I'm like, I left 27 years ago.
You're almost like a Floridian at this point. You've been
I've lived
here
in
longer.
Florida most of my adult life, yeah. So
Wow.
I haven't lived ever anywhere else. I go back to New York a lot. I have a lot of dear friends there, and you know, I like Florida, but after the pandemic, it's become like the sixth borough, right? And so everybody says,
Yes, it has.
Everybody wants, thanks, DeSantis.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody wants to come
Everybody
here.
wants to come here, and
Yeah.
everybody wants to build.
Even
a restaurant
Ohio
here.
came. She's from
Yeah.
Ohio.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
from Ohio,
I
yeah.
am.
Well, I'm from South America.
Yeah, I was going to say.
There's nobody from
But
Florida.
you've been here a long time.
Yeah, I've been here since '95.
Yeah. And
So
where in
my
South
whole-
America?
Venezuela.
Venezuela, yeah.
My whole adult life I've been here. So it's like I had this mixture of cultures, right? Like my childhood Spanish culture and my adult is American. So I'm like both from Venezuela, made in America.
There you go. That's good.
Great. That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah. So Nicole has some rapid fire questions.
Oh
Okay.
my.
I'm gonna switch the hot
All right.
seat.
Okay.
So
Do I
you
need